And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
I don't want you to protest, I don't want you to riot, I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being, God damn it! My life has value!
Get together, have a few laughs.
What's up? Bringing you some Monday news. Theo from the Iowa Talk Guys. Want to talk a little bit about the Russia-Ukraine war. We might as well start calling it the U.S.-Russia war. It sounds from certain folks that had it not been for the United States meddling in this thing, that Zelensky would have already had to have agreed to peace terms and the bloodshed would have stopped. I don't think most people realize that Russia's not backing down from this. Of course, politicians and bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., they know that, but they want war. So the harder they push, they know that Russia's not messing around. The harder they push, the harder Russia's going to fight. All right? According to some reports, Russia being the largest nuclear-armed power on Earth. Yeah, it's not Iraq. It's not tribes in Afghanistan. It's not Syria. No, this is Russia. This is their territory, their border we're talking about. I'm not talking about Ukraine. I'm talking about, hey, Ukraine shares a border with Russia, folks. Do you notice automatically the difference between Russia's foreign policy right now with regards to this and American foreign policy? Yeah, Russia shares a border with this country. And oh, by the way, they've warned time and time and time again that they're not going to allow NATO incursion on their borders. Period. End of argument. Just like the United States wouldn't allow it here. I do not understand why it is so hard for the American people, or so many of them, to figure out that we don't have any place putting our military on other continents. Period. End of argument. You understand, Russia didn't come here to get us. We're going there to get them. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple premise. According to Russia Today, I'm just reporting what they're saying. That's it. That's according to them, U.S. President Joe Biden has told senior intelligence officials that, quote, counterproductive, end quote, leaks about data sharing with Ukraine should stop. Although there was no official reaction to the report from U.S. authorities, Vyacheslav Volodin, the chairman of the Russia State Duma, which I believe is like their legislature, took to Telegram and said, quote, the United States is taking part in hostilities in Ukraine. U.S. President Biden demanding to stop leaks about the exchange of intelligence information with Ukraine admitted that Washington had been exposed, end quote. Folks, this isn't a joke anymore. This isn't World War II. Really tired of the World War II references. Hitler's dead. He died in a bunker in Berlin. If he didn't escape to South America, who knows? Regardless, we're the last ones to have any accurate information regarding any of it, right? Because, was it Napoleon? I'm not sure, but said history is the most commonly agreed upon folly. History is the most commonly agreed upon lie, or something to that effect. According to Fox News, Russia warns U.S. of unpredictable consequences amid latest arms shipment to Ukraine. That was Mid last month, Russia's already warning the United States. Unpredictable consequences is what Russia replies with. If you keep arming Ukraine, there will be unpredictable consequences. We're talking about nuclear war here, people. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth us meddling in Ukraine? Is it worth nuclear war and risking future generations, most of the human race being wiped out? Because, of course, the people using the nukes, they all got bunkers, right? They're fine. They can live underground for decades or more. All at your expense, folks. While you get wasted away out here. Man, this coffee's tasting good this morning. What to people out here in flyover country particularly, what interest do you have in Russia's war with Ukraine, and why the hell should the United States get involved? I'd love to hear from you. If we have a comment section yet, go ahead and plug your ideas down there in the comment section. Meanwhile, you've got smarter, more rational governments around the world, like India, still doing business with the United States. Of course, as soon as India reports that they're not going to stop doing business with Russia, essentially because their border defense depends on it. Washington, D.C., the Biden administration comes out and says they're worried about human rights abuses in India. India responds they're worried about human rights abuses in the United States, which is a pretty good point, you know. The United States thinks that they're the daddy of the world, or the mommy, whatever the hell you want to say it is. Got some gender-neutral pronoun, plug that in there. Yeah, well, we're not. I think the rest of the world is tired of it, and the American people should get tired of it as well. Tired of the CIA meddling all around the world. Toppling governments. Toppling governments, people. Your tax dollars have paid to topple democratically elected governments. But you don't have anything to say about that. You just put a Ukraine flag in your yard. Woo, support. Zelensky, Man of the Year. The actor, folks, the actor. According to, I want to say, is it Colonel Douglas McGregor? Former Colonel Douglas McGregor. You literally have playwrights and screenwriters in the Ukrainian executive administration behind Zelensky, who played the president of Ukraine on TV. Well, he's got some experience, doesn't he? Wow. Just crazy. I can't believe there's not a movement in the United States right now to stop U.S. military mobilization in Eastern Europe. It's crazy. So if you look at independent journalists like Patrick Lancaster, who's on the ground in Ukraine, this guy walks around towns in the DPR talking to the people. Hell, they're happy to see Russia there. Yeah, you ever give any thought to what they think? The people that live there? Or is this just some little American people foreign policy wad fantasy that we're going to act out with blood and treasure again? Again and again and again and again. Korea, Vietnam, Iraq 1, Iraq 2. President Bill Clinton's getting blowjobs in the Oval Office and putting cigars in vaginas, allegedly, and to take the heat off of himself and his little deal going on and his little impeachment going on there in Congress. Why don't we just send some F-117s or some B-2s over to Baghdad and drop some shit? Let's drop a bunch of 2,000-pound bombs. Take a little bit of the heat off me. Yeah, she's a sweetie, though, that Monica. Utterly disgusting. The same people that locked your kids down, masked your kids, the same ones altering children's genitalia. Hell, there's reports from Canada that they're taking kids away from families that don't submit to genital mutilation with children with gender dysphoria. Coming to a U.S. near you. Coming to a state near you. All coming from those same people, and that's an excellent way to hook Republicans, man. I tell you what, conservatives, yada, 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 even, I don't know, I wouldn't dare call them libertarians, but even some people that would consider themselves that. Russia invades Ukraine. and all of a sudden, U.S. government needs to do something about it. Well, I don't know about you, but from roughly spring break 2020 until Russia invaded Ukraine, I don't think that they needed to do a damn thing, but all of a sudden, your opinion has changed, right? All of you conservatives and Republicans out there, wave your flag anytime we can send the drop the 82nd Airborne in to some shit up. By the way, I find myself always stating this. I have absolutely nothing against veterans of foreign wars. They did everything that they were asked to do. It's the people in charge, all right? You start getting up there somewhere into the officer ranks and then the bureaucracy, and they're wrong, and it never should have happened. This stuff never should have happened, particularly over the past 20 years. Saddam Hussein had absolutely nothing to do with 9/11. Absolutely nothing to do with 9/11, people. Our country lies. Colin Powell goes in front of the UN Security Council, lies about the yellow cake. We talk about that around here a lot. All of a sudden, Russia invades Ukraine on their border. Said if you don't stop, we're going to do it, pretty much. You only have one statesman. You only have one person out there talking about resolving this diplomatically. Stop the bloodshed. Stop it. And that's 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. You don't have anybody else doing that. What happened to you, peace Democrats? What happened to you? I knew you were frauds from the beginning because you're all fake inside and you're all partially dead inside. That's not a joke. The fact that over 50% of Democrats, who was that, Rasmussen or something like that? I don't know. 50% of Democrats, somewhere around there, think that unvaccinated people should be put in camps or locked down in their homes and not able to function in society. That's not a joke, people. Those are your neighbors. Yeah, here we are. Here we are to that point in American history where we start ratting everybody out. Well, we've already been there before, right? McCarthyism. Now it's the commies, though, that they're in control. Commies are in control, breaking this thing down, imploding this economy, bringing the U.S. down, killing the middle class. They don't want a middle class. Middle class is independent. That's probably what they hate about Russia right now, because however big of assholes and evil bastards their government is, Russia's middle class seems to be growing. In fact, I think it just recently came out that the ruble is like the strongest international currency in the world right now. A lot of good the sanctions did, dipshits. Your government imploded your currency. Well, their currency, because really it's private banks, right? Yep. Anti-war Democrats, baby. Totally fake. Complete fraud. Never were anti-war. Well, what the demonstrable lying media in the West, particularly the United States, won't tell you is that it sounds like Russia's winning this thing. Sounds like they're taking it. So, for better or worse, I am absolutely opposed to war, fundamentally. Sounds like that deal over there on their continent, sounds like they got it taken care of, regardless of what you think. So, what do? U.S. just going to keep sending arms over there. Listen to some people, they say that what the United States is just doing is that the defense contractors are just licking their chops right now. As usual, folks, who do you think is behind all of this shit? Snap out of it. Defense contractors. They're just depleting stock. They're going to get contracts again. This is revenue. Folks, war is money. And nobody has focused on that more than the United States over the past 80 years. Eisenhower on his exit speech, remember? Exit speech? The military-industrial complex. Coined the phrase, folks. But we forgot. Such short memories. So disappointing that this is what our children's generation is going to have to deal with. Whew, I tell you, these baby boomers and Gen Xers in charge. Too hot to handle here. Lord Almighty, please have mercy on us. Higher power above. We're going to need it. Sounds like all the prophecies and whatnot of fire coming down from heaven. Washington, D.C. got in the way and said they're not going to let God have the fun first. They're going to do it. They're going to jump that one. They're going to jump ahead. Oh, God, we're not going to let you have all the fiery, destructive fun. Yeah. Well, they're already doing it. Weren't there all sorts? Yeah, there's videos out west. Of course, the media punted and buried on that, but all the videos that were coming out a couple years ago of the people getting out of their cars and just starting a fire with a lighter or some shit out in Oregon, California. Those, eco-terrorist country. Hey, what happened? How come we're not hearing about the guy that lit himself fire on the Supreme Court steps? You know, the guy that's for the eco activist, the environmental activist that decided to self-immolate, light himself on fire to save the planet on the steps of the Supreme Court. How come we didn't hear about that? Could you imagine if some dude in a Make America Great Again hat did that, lighted himself on fire on the Supreme Court? MSNBC would be losing their damn minds. Those ideological cowards over there. Shit's crazy, man. Yep. Lighting fires. U.S. government at least just licking at their chops. The chance to use some nukes, bring that fire from heaven. When the fire comes down from heaven. Ladies and gentlemen, all non-binary folks out there, there is a war for global domination right now. Your government has already declared war on you. You just can't see it because you're blind and numb. But, you're the ones with the psychopaths in charge, that's for sure. You know, say what you want about the Chinese, the evil Chinese Communist Party. I'm so fundamentally opposed to communism, collectivism of all kinds, socialism of any kind. We'll get further into what I mean by that. I mean it for real, not like you Republicans and conservatives out there. Use socialism. You Republicans and conservatives, you guys use the word socialism like Antifa uses the word Nazi. You don't even know what the hell it means. At least, you know, the Chinese Communist Party are forging their country into a global power and preserving economic power as opposed to destroying it like they are in the United States. Hey, man, at least the baby boomers had the most comfortable lives of any generation in human history. Of course, the next 5, 6, 10 generations are going to pay for it, if not more. Start dropping nukes. Anyway, I guess that's my philosophical take. You know, why are if Russia was in such a human rights position right now, or violation of such, why does a country like India, who faces the Chinese on disputed borders without weapons, why does a country like that not have a negative opinion? Well, I guess I shouldn't say negative opinion. I think they do have a negative opinion on the invasion, but they don't have a won't do business sanctioning opinion, which is completely and utterly backfiring. Like I said earlier, the ruble is reported to be the strongest currency in the world right now. So congratulations on your economic sanctions. They're sanctioning you. You understand that? They're in war with you. Okay. They don't want you to be middle class anymore. And when government spends money, that's what they do. They destroy the middle class. Every dollar the government spends, essentially, is a contributing factor to the destruction of the middle class. Because government cannot create wealth or prosperity. Period. Economic law, folks. Anyway, I hope you like my little take here. Hopefully pretty soon we'll have plenty more where this came from. Keep tuned in to the Iowa Talk Guys. Iowa Talk Guys on Viewies.com. That's VIEWYS, Viewies.com. Channel being Iowa Talk Guys. At Iowa Talk Guys on Twitter. Start posting some stuff up on there until they kill Elon. He's already got some spooky tweets coming out. This is Theo. Stay tuned in. There's going to be plenty more fresh takes. Theo out.